Before you begin your day, hear me, there are battles you may not see, decisions you may not be prepared for, and doors you may not even know exist. But there is a realm of the Spirit that goes before you, empowering, aligning, and securing your destiny. Every morning is an invitation, a prophetic portal that opens for those who know how to command the day. You must learn to begin your mornings not with anxiety, not with confusion, not with fear, but with alignment. Alignment with the will, the wisdom, and the presence of God. Please listen carefully. Many believers start their day assuming that things will fix themselves. Life does not give you what you deserve. It gives you what you contend for. Every morning you must legislate, you must speak, you must pray, and you must take spiritual responsibility. The world you see was built by words, and the world you want will be sustained by words. This is why the enemy fights your prayer life. He knows that a man who can pray is a man who can rise. Begin your day with spiritual alignment, because the quality of your morning determines the atmosphere of your entire day. When you rise from sleep, you are not just waking up physically, you are stepping into a new cycle of possibilities, responsibilities, and spiritual movements. Every new day carries its own assignments, its own temptations, its own opportunities, and its own battles. If your spirit is not aligned early, you will find yourself responding to life out of confusion, anxiety, or fatigue. Spiritual alignment means bringing your thoughts, emotions, desires, and decisions under the influence of God before the pressures of the day begin to speak. It is choosing to set the tone of your day by connecting with the one who knows the end from the beginning. Many people wake up and rush immediately into activity. Their phones are in their hands before their hearts are lifted to God. They enter the day with noise already occupying their mind. Then they wonder why the day feels heavy, chaotic, or unproductive. But when you choose alignment first, you allow the Spirit of God to breathe clarity and perspective into you. You become anchored. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding with wisdom, guided by peace. Spiritual alignment is not a ritual, it is a necessity. It is like tuning an instrument before a performance. If the tuning is wrong, even your best efforts will sound off. In the same way, if your spirit is unaligned, even your strength, intelligence, and good intentions may bring frustration instead of results. When you begin your day with alignment, you acknowledge that you cannot navigate life by your own understanding. You humble yourself before God and confess, Lord, order my steps, influence my thoughts, govern my decisions, lead me away from danger, bring me into the paths of favor. This posture of surrender opens a portal for divine wisdom. Suddenly, what seemed confusing becomes simple. What seemed overwhelming becomes manageable. What seemed impossible becomes achievable. Divine guidance begins to filter your choices. You start noticing solutions you missed before. Your heart becomes sensitive to warnings. You avoid unnecessary mistakes. This is the power of alignment. Alignment also stabilizes your emotions. Many people step into their day carrying yesterday's disappointments or tomorrow's fears. Their mind is scattered and their heart is already troubled before the day even begins. But when you align with God in the morning, the weight on your heart begins to lift. The presence of God replaces anxiety with peace. The Spirit of God renews your courage. He strengthens your inner man so that circumstances do not easily shake you. Even when challenges arise, you face them from a place of spiritual strength, not emotional weakness. Alignment does not remove life's problems, but it empowers you to rise above them. Spiritual alignment also means dedicating your plans to God. You may have a schedule, meetings, tasks, deadlines, or expectations, but when you present them to God at the start of the day, you invite heaven to oversee the outcomes. You give God permission to shut wrong doors, open right ones, and redirect you when necessary. Many times, what looks like a delay is actually God protecting you. What looks like a closed door is God guiding you towards something better. You experience this level of clarity only when you begin with alignment. Otherwise, you may fight what is meant to save you or chase what is meant to distract you. Alignment strengthens your discernment. Not every opportunity is God sent. Not every voice is trustworthy. Not every offer is destiny aligned. But when your spirit is sensitive, you can perceive the subtle warnings of God. You can sense when something feels wrong, even if it looks right. You can sense when a person's words are pleasant, but their intentions are destructive. You can sense when a situation is not beneficial, even if it appears attractive. Morning alignment sharpens these spiritual impressions. To begin your day with spiritual alignment is to declare, Lord, without you I am limited. Without you I am vulnerable. But with you I can face anything that comes my way. It is choosing to draw strength, wisdom, protection, and direction from the Spirit before you draw from your own strength. The more consistent you are, the more empowered your days become. Life will not be free of challenges, but you will face each day fortified, guided, and spiritually equipped. When the presence of God goes before you, the day becomes lighter, doors open more effortlessly, and opportunities align more naturally. This is the power of starting your day aligned with God. Prayer activates divine protection and direction because it connects you with the unseen realm where the true battles of life are fought and won. When you pray, you are not merely speaking words into the air. You are engaging spiritual realities that shape your physical experiences. There are forces, situations, and decisions waiting ahead of you each day that your natural senses cannot perceive. You cannot see the traps, the wrong turns, the hidden dangers, or the manipulations that may be plotted against you. But prayer opens your spirit to God, the one who sees all things, knows all things, and governs all things. When you pray, you give heaven legal permission to intervene on your behalf, shield you from evil, and guide you into the right path. Many people underestimate the power of prayer because they judge it only by what they feel. They say, I don't feel anything when I pray, forgetting that prayer is not about emotion. It is about engagement. A soldier does not have to feel strong to pick up his weapon. He simply knows the weapon works. In the same way, prayer is a spiritual weapon that activates the protection of God. When you pray, you surround your life with an atmosphere that darkness cannot easily penetrate. You may not see angels physically, but prayer summons them to move on your behalf. You may not hear the voice of God audibly, but prayer aligns you with His whispers. You may not see danger, but prayer ensures it cannot touch you. Divine protection is not merely the absence of danger, it is the presence of God going ahead of you. There are moments when you feel prompted not to go somewhere, not to take a certain route, not to engage in a certain conversation, or not to trust a certain person. Those impressions are not random. They are the echoes of your prayer speaking back to you. Prayer activates sensitivity. It awakens your discernment. It makes your spirit aware of what your eyes cannot see. Many people walk into problems simply because their spirit is asleep, unguarded, and unaligned. But when you pray, you sharpen your inner radar. You become aware, alert, and spiritually responsive. Prayer also activates divine direction. Life is too complex to navigate by human wisdom alone. There are decisions you cannot afford to make without God's guidance. One wrong step can set a person back for years. One wrong relationship can drain your energy, focus, and destiny. One wrong financial choice can open doors to regret. But prayer brings you into the counsel of God. When you pray, you invite His wisdom to settle in your mind. You begin to think clearer. Ideas come to you. Solutions rise in your spirit. You start recognizing the right opportunities and ignoring the ones that would have distracted you. Prayer brings alignment between your steps and God's will. Divine direction does not always come dramatically. Sometimes it comes as peace. You feel settled about a certain choice. Other times it comes as a warning. You feel restricted or uneasy about something. Prayer makes you sensitive to both. Without prayer, people make decisions based on emotions, pressure, or assumptions. But when you pray, the Spirit of God becomes your compass. He nudges you, guides you, and turns your attention to the right things. You find yourself at the right place at the right time. You meet the right people. You avoid unnecessary battles. You walk into opportunities you didn't even know were connected to your destiny. This is the power of divine direction. Prayer also silences the voices of confusion. A mind without prayer becomes vulnerable to doubt, fear, and misplaced priorities. But when you pray, the noise reduces. Your heart becomes stable. Your thoughts become ordered. You no longer live based on trial and error. You live by light. There is a confidence that comes upon a person who has prayed, a quiet assurance that says, God is with me, God is leading me, and I will not fail. That confidence itself is a form of protection. It shields you from panic, from emotional instability, from impulsive decisions. There are many situations where you only realize later that God protected you. An invitation you didn't accept, a trip you didn't take, a conversation you avoided, an opportunity you ignored, only for you to later discover that trouble was waiting there. Prayer creates those divine delays, those redirections, those escapes. You may not always understand them in the moment, but they are evidence of a God who watches over you. To say that prayer activates divine protection and direction is to say that prayer positions your life under God's supervision. It places your day, your steps, and your decisions into the hands of the one who never makes mistakes. When you pray consistently, you live with fewer regrets. You walk with more clarity. You avoid unnecessary pain. You recognize destiny moments. You move in sync with heaven. And you experience the covering and the guidance of God in tangible ways. This is why prayer is not optional. It is your lifeline. Speak over your day with authority, because your words are not empty sounds. They are spiritual instruments that shape atmosphere, influence outcomes, and command alignment. The world you live in responds to words. Creation itself was framed by words, and destinies continue to rise or fall on the strength of what is spoken. When you wake up each morning, you are not just entering time. You are entering a spiritual space that will obey the voice of whoever speaks with conviction and understanding. If you do not speak, life will speak for you. If you do not command your day, circumstances will command you. Silence is agreement, and every day carries both blessings and battles. Your assignment is to declare which one will find expression. Many people take their words lightly because they do not understand the laws of the Spirit. They complain, grumble, predict failure, and speak fear without realizing they are authorizing what they speak. When you say, "I know today will be difficult," you are not just expressing emotion, you are opening a door. When you say, "Nothing ever works for me," you are making a decree, and the spiritual realm honors it. But when you rise and speak with authority, when you declare favor, wisdom, protection, and victory, you shift the direction of your entire day. You summon what aligns with God's promises and dismiss anything that threatens your peace. Speaking over your day is not motivational talk, it is spiritual legislation. Kings do not wish, they decree. Priests do not hope, they declare. You are not begging life to cooperate. You are commanding it to align. When you speak over your day, you are exercising the dominion God has given you. Your words become like arrows released into the future, shaping events before you arrive there. You may not feel powerful, but authority is not a feeling. It is a position. And as long as you stand in that position, your words carry weight. Speak intentionally, speak boldly, speak with understanding. Declare that your mind is sharp, your emotions are stable, your path is ordered, and your heart is protected. Speak to confusion and tell it to leave. Speak to fear and subdue it. Speak to opportunities and call them forth. Speak to closed doors and command them to open. Speak to favor and summon it into your environment. You are not practicing positive thinking, you are aligning your life with spiritual truth. When you speak with authority, your atmosphere changes. Peace begins to settle, strength rises, clarity increases. You sense a shift inside you because your spirit recognizes the weight of your own declarations. The day is no longer something that happens to you. It becomes something you direct. This is why you must be consistent. One day of weak declarations cannot counter months of negative speech. But the more you practice speaking over your day, the more your spirit becomes accustomed to ruling instead of reacting. Speaking over your day also breaks the power of negative prophecies, words spoken by others, or atmospheres inherited from past seasons. People may call you names, speak doubt over your life, or predict failure. But your declarations cancel every voice that contradicts what God has spoken. You cannot control what people say about you, but you can control what you authorize over your life. Your words become a shield, a covering, a barrier against negativity. You uproot what was planted by fear and plant what is established by faith. Authority in speech means you do not describe the problem, you declare the solution. Instead of saying, "I am overwhelmed," you say, "I have the wisdom and strength for today." Instead of saying, "I don't know what to do," you declare, "My steps are ordered." Instead of saying, "I feel weak," you speak, The Lord is my strength. Authority means you refuse to let your feelings dictate your declarations. You speak truth until your emotions submit. When you speak over your day, you also activate angelic activity. The spiritual realm responds to words. Angels move at the sound of prophetic declarations, taking your words as instructions. While you cannot see them, they go forth to create order, to open doors, to protect you, to influence decisions in your favor, and to ensure that what you declared becomes your experience. Speaking over your day with authority is choosing to begin your morning as a spiritual governor, not a victim of circumstances. It is deciding that your peace will not be stolen, your joy will not be interrupted, your progress will not be hindered, and your destiny will not be diverted. You rise, you speak, and you command alignment. And as you do, you discover that life begins to yield to your voice. Doors begin to respond, peace begins to flow, and your entire day aligns with the power you released at the start of it. Ask for strength, wisdom, and destiny helpers, because no matter how gifted, intelligent, or disciplined you are, there are dimensions of life you can never walk through by yourself. Every day presents new demands on your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. You cannot predict the weight of the tasks ahead, the conversations you will have, the decisions you must make, or the opportunities that will require clarity and courage. Strength is not simply about physical energy, it is the stamina to remain consistent when life becomes overwhelming, the grace to stand when pressure intensifies, and the resilience to stay focused when distractions try to pull you away. Without divine strength, even simple tasks feel heavy, ordinary responsibilities become burdensome, and small challenges become mountains. This is why you must ask for strength. Strength for your mind, strength for your spirit, strength for your emotions, and strength for your journey. There are days when you wake up feeling empty or exhausted even before the day begins. That is not laziness. It is a spiritual signal that you need fresh empowerment. Human strength is limited. It fades. It gets tired. It burns out. But divine strength renews your inner man, recharges your mind, and restores your ability to think clearly. When you ask for strength, you are inviting God to reinforce your capacity so that you do not collapse under the weight of your responsibilities. You may not feel the strength physically, but suddenly you notice that your patience increases, your focus returns, your courage rises, and your heart becomes steady. That is divine empowerment at work within you. Asking for wisdom is equally important because wisdom determines your decisions, and your decisions shape the outcome of your day. You can be strong but still fail if you are not wise. Wisdom is the ability to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It is the spiritual intelligence that helps you recognize opportunities, avoid errors, and respond correctly to people and situations. Wisdom is not learned by experience alone. It is a gift from God. When you ask for wisdom, you are asking God to illuminate your mind, to inspire the right thoughts, to guide your reasoning, and to help you interpret situations accurately. Many people struggle daily not because they lack strength, but because they lack the wisdom to use that strength correctly. One wrong decision can exhaust what strength you have. One unwise conversation can drain your peace in minutes. But wisdom preserves your energy, multiplies your effectiveness, and protects your destiny. Wisdom also guards your relationships. It shows you when to speak and when to be silent, when to engage and when to withdraw, when to confront and when to overlook. It helps you discern people who should walk with you, who should step away, and who should not have access to your life. Without wisdom, you may give access to those who weaken you and distance yourself from those who were meant to help you. This is why wisdom is a necessity, not a luxury. Ask for it daily so that your thoughts, choices, and interactions are guided by light, not emotion. Destiny helpers are another mention you must ask for, because no accomplishment in life is ever the result of one person's effort. Every season of progress requires people, men and women strategically positioned to lift you, support you, guide you, or open doors for you. Destiny helpers are not random individuals. They are vessels through whom God expresses assistance. They may offer resources, wisdom, opportunities, encouragement, or favor. You cannot meet them by luck. You meet them by divine orchestration. When you ask for destiny helpers, you are asking God to connect you with the right voices, the right relationships, and the right partnerships at the right time. There are people who carry answers to your prayers. There are people whose presence in your life accelerates your journey. There are people who unlock dimensions you have prayed for. Without them, the journey becomes longer, harder, and sometimes impossible. But when God brings destiny helpers into your path, things begin to align, doors open faster, solutions appear more effortlessly. You walk into opportunities you did not labor for. This is why you must ask God not only to bring them, but also to make you sensitive enough to recognize them. Many people have missed divine connections because they lack discernment. Asking for strength, wisdom, and destiny helpers is an acknowledgement of your dependence on God. It is a declaration that you refuse to walk in human ability alone. When you pray these prayers consistently, you move through life with supernatural ease. Challenges do not break you. Decisions do not confuse you. Relationships do not drain you. Instead, your steps are ordered, your heart is energized, and your path is supported by the help God sends. You cannot know how much the day demands, but you can prepare yourself by asking for what you truly need. Strength to endure, wisdom to navigate, and destiny helpers to support your journey. These are the pillars that sustain a victorious life. When you begin your day with these requests, you set yourself up for excellence, clarity, and divine assistance in every step you take. Prophecy, victory, and walk in God's presence, because the atmosphere you carry determines the experiences you attract. Every believer must understand that victory is not something you wait for. It is something you declare, speak forth, and enforce in the realm of the Spirit. Life responds to voices, and the spiritual realm recognizes those who speak with conviction. When you rise each day and declare victory, you are not denying challenges. You are announcing the authority you carry over them. You are reminding your spirit, your environment, and every unseen force that you are not entering your day as a victim, but as one who already stands on the winning side. Victory begins in your mouth before it manifests in your life. When you prophesy victory, you align your heart with God's promises. You silence the lies of fear, doubt, and intimidation. The enemy's greatest strategy is to make you speak defeat even before the battle starts. He wants your words to authorize his agenda. But when you stand boldly and declare, today I walk in breakthrough. Today I walk in favor. Today I overcome. You close the door to negative influence and open the gates of divine possibilities. Your declarations become seeds planted in your day, and as you speak consistently, you cultivate an atmosphere where only victory can grow. Prophesying victory does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging that God's power is greater than anything you will face. It is choosing to see your life from the perspective of what God has spoken, not what the situation is suggesting. Even when things look uncertain, your declarations establish a spiritual foundation that cannot be shaken. You speak strength when you feel weak. You speak clarity when you feel confused. You speak peace when you feel troubled. You speak provision even when the resources have not yet appeared. This is faith at work, faith expressed through prophetic declaration. Walking in God's presence is the posture that sustains these declarations. The presence of God is not merely a feeling. It is an atmosphere, a covering, a spiritual environment that follows you everywhere you go. When you carry His presence, you walk with an assurance that you are never alone. His presence becomes your shield, your anchor, and your guide. Challenges may arise, but His presence gives you stability. People may oppose you, but His presence gives you favor. Difficulties may stretch you, but His presence gives you endurance. The presence of God is the advantage that separates you from those who walk only in their own strength. To walk in God's presence means you remain conscious of Him throughout your day. You make decisions with an awareness that He is guiding you. You handle conversations with the understanding that He is listening. You face tasks knowing that His strength is enabling you. This awareness alone brings peace, confidence, and boldness. You do not need to strive to impress people. You simply need to stay connected to the one who directs your steps. When His presence goes before you, doors open that you never touched. Hearts are softened before you speak. Opportunities align without you forcing them. This is the mystery of divine presence. It accomplishes what human effort cannot. Prophesying victory and walking in God's presence work together. Declarations release power and presence sustains it. When you speak victory but do not cultivate His presence, your spirit may weaken as the day progresses. But when you stay connected to God's presence, your declarations gain consistency and authority. You become spiritually fortified. Your confidence remains steady. Your heart remains at peace. You carry an invisible mantle that influences everything around you. The presence of God also protects your mind. In a world filled with noise, pressure, and negative influences, His presence creates a spiritual barrier that keeps your thoughts aligned. You begin to see things differently. You respond differently. You speak differently. You smile even when circumstances try to overwhelm you, not because you are ignoring reality, but because you are anchored in a greater reality, the God who walks with you. Prophesying victory also invites angelic assistance. Angels respond to prophetic words spoken in faith. They move to enforce what you declare. They go ahead of you to clear obstacles. They influence outcomes in your favor. This is why you must speak with confidence, knowing that heaven supports every declaration rooted in truth. Walking in God's presence also means carrying an atmosphere that affects others. People feel peace around you. Solutions come when you walk into a room. You speak words that lift, heal, and encourage. You become a carrier of divine influence. Your life becomes a testimony, not because everything is easy, but because you walk with the one who makes all things possible. Every morning, declare victory. Throughout your day, carry His presence. When challenges come, speak again. When fear whispers, speak again. When doubt rises, speak again. Let your declarations echo through your atmosphere until everything in your day aligns with the voice of God speaking through you. Victory is not distant. It is activated through your words and sustained by His presence.